The history of Bantu migration is the most weaponized narration of a history in this part of the world. Now, I have 3 questions which I want to address, and I want to show this the reason why they made it compulsory for every Form 1 or grade 8 person to learn, and everyone who had started from grade 1 to 7, he had to encounter some of the elements of this migration story. Why was the Bantu migration important to the colonizers? Why were they more concerned about telling us about ourselves in our land rather than telling us how they came, telling us the story of how they came through the sea, what they met, what problems they met, what they left behind? They were not concerned about that, but to tell us how we came when they found us here. The question then is, the pre-question is that, well, how would they see how we came when they were not here? Then the real first question is, why is Bantu migration so important to the colonizers? As we all know, a man cannot walk around complimenting women that you are beautiful, you have got nice legs, or you have nice ears, nice fingers, unless that man has got an ulterior motive, which is always, a man always invests in himself. By nature, a man is selfish. Whenever he says that, it's because he wants to have a horizontal interaction with a female. And it's a given, and it's an expected conclusion of a relationship between a man and a woman. So it is not innocent for a man to say, you are beautiful to a woman. No. That is not innocent. It's invested. It's an inference. It can be overt or covert. But the main thing is, it's a horizontal hope that a man has towards that female. Having said that, how did the colonizer benefit from telling us our history about migration? Because that means that the very history they're telling us in Southern Africa about Bantu migration is a history of displacement, of deprivation, of unnationalizing us, making us alien on our own land. This gives us the same starting point with them when they came from Europe, which is America, wherever they came from. They are giving themselves the same departure with us. And the ETA is what they try to play with, the expected time of arrival in Southern Africa. They try to make it look like all of us who came here, we came here, we don't belong. You cannot tell me that it's your father's land. This is all our land. This is how they continue to deprive the people of this land, their land. And their cattle they took, their livestock, their chicken, their hens, their ducks, their guinea-fowl, their turkeys. They did not come with anything except that story that there is Bantu migration, which is, whether it's false or not, is neither here nor there. Because if a man is walking in his garden, if he walks from one corner to the other, who is there to ask him, where did you come from? If you are in your house and you walk from the kitchen to the bedroom, who is there to ask you that, you came from the kitchen, you cannot be standing in the bedroom? Which is exactly what they are doing. So they created the borders, the paperwork of title deeds, birth certificates, death certificates, marriage certificates, qualifications, academic qualifications, tertiary qualifications. All those were control mechanisms which were based on our migration from the Congo to Southern Africa, making them the same with us. We all came. Now, where is the main trick? The main trick is that they say some of our brothers who did not come to stay in towns, who stayed in the rural areas, they say those are the first people. And they do a DNA test which discusses genetics, which has nothing to do, by the way, with the languages we speak. If someone moves from a rural area to an urban area, and that one who is left in the rural area speaks the old language, it does not make any of them the original person, because they are related, they are the same. So whether it's Kwe or Bantu, these are the same people. This is why you find that when we say they are Kwe here, if you go almost all the way to Kenya, all the way to the end of the world, we're not even talking about the Suez Canal, which they dug to separate Africa from places which we could walk to Moscow. So the reason they want this Bantu migration to be real and to be taught to children, to Africans and their own children, is that they want to refuse with our land. I want you to understand that. Okay, I think we're done with that. The second, when you ask them, if you say we come from Congo, how did we get to Congo? When we got to Congo, where were we from? No, they won't answer that. Why don't they want to answer that? Because there is no land claim in Congo between them and the Congolese, or between us and the Congolese, between anyone who is related to what they are teaching. Remember, they are teaching this to the people they want to steal from. So the relevance of why, who brought us to Congo and why we were in Congo is not relevant. Okay, part B of this question of from when we get Congo, where we come from, is that why did we leave Congo? They don't explain. Was it because there was a hurricane? Was it because we were attacked by the Belgians? Was it because there was Ebola? No, they won't answer that, because it's not important to them. As long as their lie sticks that we were from Congo, they will stay with that. Because when we move from Congo, or where we move from, it is all our land. We can move where we like. This is why they put borders, so that they can justify the deprivation and abuse of the peoples, and take away their resources through education, through the biased and inhumane Roman Dutch law court system, which is perpetuating injustices even as we now speak. When black people, they say they are educated, they push trolleys of books full of rubbish and say they are lawyers, and spend days arguing about nothing, when their people are suffering. And the strangest part is, you see that they say to each other, this is a great lawyer, he's a great lawyer. He's a great lawyer on whose law? Based on what? On speaking English? No. Any law that drags on through technicalities and loopholes and misguided justice system that benefits people who sit in the court system, not the victims who should be addressed by the court system, but those who run the court system are the ones who benefit from court system. This is why you see that people like who is this guy de Klerk, who died? He died saying we should keep the court system independent. The word independence in this case means that it should not be run by the majority black people. It should be independent from the government, but it should be dependent on the rich people who control the court systems. Those are the only people who get justice. And that justice is not according to the needs of the people, but according to the needs of the rich and the West. This is why you see every time there is a commission that is useless, commissions in Africa, they're just money laundering by African governments. There's nothing about commissions, because those people, you can say their justice is judge what, but if you read their judgments and you see how they run them, you see that they're just criminals by any other name, by any stretch of imagination. So the question of why and how we got to Congo and why we left Congo is not addressed by this Bantu migration lie of a history. Thank you. Then let's go to the last one, number 3. Why is Bantu migration only starting from Congo? Not from Morocco, not from Egypt, not from London, not from Germany. I will tell you why. Because through their visa system, which they had all already planned, if black people were said to come from London, then black people could move to London anytime. Because they had the claim of the land. This is why you see the white people can go to Britain and still come and fill papers in Africa and say by ancestry. But black people cannot do the same thing to go to London. So you have to understand that this whole Bantu migration thing is nothing but dispossession of resources of blacks and slavery. Now I must thank you.